Hive tyrants are the commanders of the tyrannid swarms and enact the hive mind's will on the field of battle. Though individuals display a wide variety of physical characteristics, all hive tyrants are fearsome, hulking monsters that tower over even a dreadnought. They are brutally strong, able to shatter ferrocrete with sickening ease. Every part of such a beast's body is perfectly created to kill, even the layers of chitinous plating that protect them. A hive tyrant is a formidable opponent at any distance, as deadly with ranged weapons as it is with bonesword or claw. Hive tyrants are highly psychic, and their relationship to the hive mind is amongst the closest of any known bioform. Indeed, the synaptic link is so strong that they are the primary conduits through which the hive mind enforces its dominance over a hive fleet's lesser creatures. The instinctive nature of a tyrannid swarm is smothered with implacable drive and purpose, and the need to hunt and devour is imbued with a cunning and tactical awareness that would put the galaxy's finest strategists to shame. Hive tyrants were created not only to overpower their prey, but also to outthink it. Unlike many tyrannid creatures, hive tyrants are incredibly intelligent and are even, to some extent, self-aware. Whilst they are still slave to the gestalt consciousness of the hive mind, they are given wider latitude in achieving its goals. As such, they can respond to battlefield events far faster than the inscrutable hive mind and adapt the behavior of the swarms they command accordingly. As a result of their highly developed synaptic connection and greater levels of intelligence, hive tyrants are also able to manifest potent psychic powers. By harnessing tiny slivers of the hive mind's terrifying will, hive tyrants can invigorate the swarm, shatter their foes' morale, or shred the minds of their prey. Should the hive mind require it, hive tyrants can also be adapted to possess a pair of vast, leathery wings. Winged hive tyrants dominate the skies above a battlefield, swooping low to disembowel enemy commanders with a lash of their prehensile tails, or unleashing torrents of flesh-melting energy from monstrous biocannons. While such organisms may lack the speed of fighter aircraft, they are perfectly capable of smashing an unaware pilot out of the sky with their bladed hooves, sending burning fragments of his vessel raining onto the ground below. Hive tyrants embody the tyrannid hive mind completely, but their destruction does not in any way diminish it. Death is simply another learning experience that gives insight to the prey's strengths and weaknesses. This goes some way to explain why the tyrannids can rarely be defeated the same way twice. Should a hive tyrant be slain on the battlefield, the hive mind simply grows a replacement, imbuing it with the same knowledge as its predecessor. Fortunately for the rest of the galaxy, this does not lead to infallibility of purpose. Even the most fearsome hive tyrant cannot anticipate its prey's every ploy, nor can it oversee every quarter of the battlefield. However, the hive mind's capacity to regrow its fallen leaders does render each hive tyrant practically immortal. No matter how many times a hive tyrant is killed, sooner or later it will always come back to overcome and devour its prey. The creature known as the Nephilim King is a particularly notorious hive tyrant specimen. This beast leads a splinter of hive fleet behemoth and fights at the head of a group of synapse creatures and gigantic biotitans. This so-called Court of the Nephilim King relies not on sheer numbers, but on the ferocity and intelligence of the most advanced tyrannid bioforms, forming a twisted mirror of a knightly brotherhood. Countless foes have sought to slay the Nephilim King, but the monster has thus far turned the tables on all its would-be hunters, swiftly turning them from predator to prey. Amongst the billions of creatures created by the hive mind, there exists one as old as the tyrannid race itself. This creature is the very pinnacle of the hive tyrant bioform, the ultimate conduit through which the hive mind's will is enforced. This creature is to a hive tyrant what a hive tyrant is to a termagant. It is a monster of darkest nightmare that has preyed on empires and overseen the extinction of entire civilizations. It is a legendary destroyer of worlds, and its names are legion. It is the tyrant lord of the hive mind, the herald of the great devourer, and the destroyer of the Kala Empire. To the Imperium of Man, the latest to face this ancient predator, it is the Swarmlord, and it represents the greatest tyrannid threat to the galaxy. Since the First Tyrannic War, the Swarmlord has carved a path of carnage across the galaxy. It was responsible for the scouring of the Megaia system, the destruction of the Brinar race, and the consumption of Wargorgluk. Not only did these events span several centuries, but each was perpetrated by a different hive fleet. It would therefore appear that the Swarmlord's link with the hive mind transcends normal physical limitations. If the Swarmlord perishes on the battlefield, the hive mind reabsorbs its consciousness through the synaptic web. The Swarmlord is therefore deathless and can be regrown to face the enemy again, returning stronger each time. The reincarnation of the Swarmlord appears to be a stress-induced response by the hive fleets, one triggered when its prey cannot be defeated through biological adaptations alone. Indeed, each time it has been reborn, the Swarmlord has been created with the express purpose of outthinking the enemy and developing new strategies to achieve the greatest results with the warrior beasts fighting around it. To this end, the Swarmlord possesses more autonomy than any other tyrannid creature yet witnessed. The Swarmlord combines its own resourcefulness with experience accumulated through eons of bloodshed. Such is the Swarmlord's alien cunning that, on several occasions during the battle for Macragge, it was able to outmaneuver and outwit the Ultramarines, warriors whose own tactical acumen is legendary. In the final days of the 41st millennium, a colossal tendril of Hive Fleet Leviathan crashed down upon the Blood Angels' homeworld of Baal and its two moons, Baal Prime and Baal Secundus. Innumerable swarms of screeching bioforms fell upon the defending Blood Angels and their successor chapters. At the heart of the tyrannid host that surrounded the great fortress monastery of Baal lurked a mighty hive tyrant wielding 4 vicious serrated boneswords. This monster wreaked untold carnage during the assault, slaying scores of space marines and directing the flow of battle with lethal cunning. As the battle approached its climax, Chapter Master Dante himself sallied forth to challenge the great beast. With a carving slice from the Ax Mortalis, Dante slew his foe, but he was gravely wounded in the act. The Blood Angels were all but destroyed as a chapter, and were saved only by the arrival of Primarch Gilliman and his Primaris Space Marine reinforcements. None know the truth of what happened to the Swarmlord after the Cicatrix Maledictum tore reality open and devoured the tendril of Hive Fleet Leviathan surrounding Baal, yet only the foolishly hopeful believe the galaxy has seen the last of this dread creature. Should it return, the knowledge the Swarmlord will have absorbed from the war in the Baal system will only serve to make it a more dangerous foe than ever before. We cannot live through this. Mankind cannot live through this. If they are truly without number, then our race is doomed to a violent death, before every shred of our civilization is scoured away by a force more voracious than the fires of hell themselves. Death! By the machine god, death is here. Magos Varnak, last words.